So this time you wanted to know, well, how many out of the 45 would be the same as 95 compared to 100, because 95 is our percentage. Setting up a proportion, some number compared to 45 is the same as 95 compared to 100. Cross multiply, divide, and you get 42.75. Now the thing about writing a quiz, if each question is only worth 1 mark, you can't really get 42.75. So we're going to say that in order to make sure you get the 95% or even a little higher, you need to answer 43 questions correctly. Fractions, decimals, and percentages are all different ways of writing the same types of things. So here's a table showing you some of the common ones that are useful to learn or even to recognize, because it'll save you some time in converting if you just recognize what they are. So we're going to look at a fraction, what its decimal equivalent is, and then what it is as a percent. So 1 is just 1, and it's 100%. 1/2 is 0.5, which is 50%. 1/3 is 0.33 repeating, but we've rounded it here, which is 33.33%. 1/4 is 0.25, or 25%. 1/5 is 0.2, 20%. And 1/10 is 0.1, or 10%. So just when you see these fractions or decimals or percents, understanding what their equivalent forms are will help you, and it might save you some time in the long run. Percentages are useful for communicating important information to people. Most people understand percent. They understand that 100% is a whole, 50% is about half. In different media, they will often refer to percentages to pass along information. Let's take a look at a recycling problem. The landfill issue in your community is a big problem, and recycling is one of the ways to divert waste from overflowing dumps. If only 3 people recycle for every 8 people in your town, then your current rate of recycling as a percent can be calculated as follows. 3 compared to 8 is 0.375. I did the division indicated by the fraction line. To go from a decimal to a percent, we multiply by 100. So 0.375 times 100 gives me 37.5%. Right now, 37.5% of the people are recycling. The goal, however, is to get 75% of the town using blue boxes. So how many more people does that turn out to be? Let's say your town has 64,000 people. How many non-recyclers will have to be persuaded to start in order to reach that 75% target? If we look at the number of people already recycling, 37.5%, we want 37.5 of 64,000. So we change the percent to a decimal, multiply, and we get 24,000 people. The target number of people to be recycling is 75%. So now we find the 75% of 64,000, multiplying by 0.75 to get 48,000 people. The difference between the non-recyclers and the recyclers is 48,000 subtract 24,000, or 24,000 people. So the number of people that need to switch or start recycling is 24,000 in order to meet the 75% target. Sounds like a lot of people to convince, but if we consider the average person in Ontario produces 600 kilograms per year of garbage. This is one of the highest rates of garbage production in the world. If we convince even one more person to recycle, it's well worth it, because we will be diverting a large chunk of that 600 kilograms away from the landfills.